I don't know where you are at the moment, but we've certainly got snow where I am, so I've been enjoying that over the weekend. I was just about to say to Simon, my guest, we've had a great weekend playing in the snow. Hi, Simon. How are you?
I'm doing brilliant. I mean, I'm gutted we don't quite have as much snow as yourself. But yeah, otherwise good. Thank you.
Brace yourself. Who knows what's coming later on this afternoon? I think there's another wave of it coming over the country later on today. So who knows? You might get a bit for the kids. You can have a snow day from homeschooling. There we go. For those of you who are new to us here at Lunch and Learn, it's Action Coach in Birmingham. It's great to have you with us. We've got Simon from Popcorn Customer Acquisition. He's going to tell us a bit about CRMs and also a new phrase, maybe PRM. I think Simon's going to tell us a bit about what that means to us all as well. If you're listening to us, you may well be on the Zoom platform, which is great. Please do put any questions and answers in the Q&A box. If you're listening to us live on Facebook and indeed on LinkedIn, it's great to have you on those platforms as well. Please do put any questions, any comments for either Simon or myself, or you may be listening to us in later on in the day on our YouTube channel. Again, please put any comments or questions in for us. If it's the first time, perhaps give us a like. If you're here for the second or more, you obviously love learning and listening to us on these Lunch and Learns. Please do give us a love and tell us where you're listening from, and share and comment on the link as well. That's enough of the introductions, but what I do want to do is introduce Simon Washbrook from Popcorn Customer Acquisition. Simon, with that shirt, you're obviously going to stand out wherever you go, but I'm sure Popcorn is a business that stands out as well. Tell us a bit more about Popcorn, Simon. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I've got an interesting story which I one day might bore you about a shirt about how he got us one of our biggest partners and got me up on the stage in front of a whole load of peers. So that's for another day.
And Simon, you and I go back a long way, and I've seen one or two of your suits as well, so we'll leave that for another day. But I know you love a colourful outfit, that's for sure.
Yeah, so thank you. Popcorn, if we class ourselves as customer acquisition software, what that means is we kind of it's CRM, which is why I'm talking about what I'm talking. But what we do is we focus very much on the first part of the journey, and I can talk about that in a bit more. But what we do in essence is we kind of help you turn those sort of golden nuggets you have in social media, those contacts, and we'll help you turn them into customers. And we give you all the tools to do it in a really simple way.
Share a bit more. Brilliant. Yeah, sorry, Simon, I didn't mean to overcut you there. You're going to tell us a bit more about that this lunchtime. And all of us have been faced with this right now, haven't we? Lockdown. Are we on lockdown? I lost track on it. Is it lockdown 3 or lockdown 4? I'm not quite sure these days, but
43, isn't it?
Hopefully it's the last one, that's for sure, with the great news of the vaccine that, I think it was 12 million doses have been given over the weekend. So we're on the right track. There's light at the end of the tunnel. But one of the things, Simon, I've been telling all of my clients, prospects, and those joining us for Lunch and Learns is whatever you do during lockdown is to continue to communicate and connect with those prospects, with your existing customers, and letting them know what you can do, that you're still here. And when things return or go into a new norm, that you're there to do business with. And I guess one of the best ways of doing that is, a CRM, some way of managing your customers, tracking their needs and your communication with them, Simon. But I think it is really important to have a plan with our customers, is it, to know how we're going to communicate with them, what their needs are, and the best way to communicate and track the responses we get. And in essence, Simon, I think that is really, you tell me, is what a CRM is best place to do, is it not?
You're absolutely spot on. And I agree with you entirely about the whole thing about during pandemic, about not shutting down your barriers, because the first thing that's going to happen is as soon as you shut down, you think your customers will think you've shut down. So then you won't get business. So it's about keeping the comms going. But more importantly, it's about identification when people start to engage and then being able to communicate them in the right way. And that's kind of exactly what the CRM does for you, is it gives you those tools to help manage and identify.
Yeah, I mean, the number of clients I've spoken to and prospects, during lockdown, I said, when did you last speak to your clients or your prospects? And they say, oh, actually, I need to go back. Even past clients, not necessarily current clients, but past clients, they are always your best prospect for new business and referrals. They've bought from you. And I'm sure in every case, they've had a winning and a great positive experience of doing that. So why wouldn't you go back to them and ask them to promote or to refer or ask them for further business? In the UK, Simon, dare I say, we're sometimes a bit shy about making the ask, aren't we?
Very much so. But here's I do like my statistics, and I'll try not to bore you with them too much. But it's cheap, 60% cheaper to win an existing or an old customer back than it is to find a new one. So you should never ever forget about where people you've worked with in the past.
Absolutely. I mean, all your investment has gone into your marketing, whatever format that was, to win that customer. You've attracted them, whether it was through a national advert, whether it was through an event you've put on, you've won that customer in the past. They are your cheapest business is your repeat business. I completely agree. I wasn't aware of the latest stats, but no, absolutely. I completely agree with you, Simon. And that's where CRMs and PRM. So tell me a bit more about the difference between a CRM and a PRM, Simon, because I'm intrigued to know.
Has it kept you awake in the evenings?
I said I had a great weekend, Sam, but I was asleep. I was awake in the middle of the night last night, just wondering what on earth you're going to tell us this morning. So I am intrigued.
Which will help with that. No. So it's quite simple. And one of the things I do tend to say is that marketeers often try and overcomplicate situations and try and almost put like a shroud on there to make it sound more clever than it actually is. And marketing, in essence, isn't very clever. It's not rocket science. It's about doing the right stuff to the right people at the right times. And so 90% of marketing is delivery. So the reason I'm saying this is kind of that's what CRM's become, because CRM started off as just, I suppose, a fancy database, a spreadsheet where here I've got a list of all my customers. This is what they're buying off us. This is where I need to put a call in with some notes, that sort of stuff, and their phone numbers in there. And as they've evolved, they've gone on to be needed to do so much more. So, for instance, now a CRM covers such a vast array of subjects. It's everything from your prospects through to your customers, through to your customer service, product management, all these sort of areas. And having a bit of software to manage that becomes really big, really cumbersome, and really quite expensive and complicated for a small business. So to break it down to its simple terms, what PRM is it's the first bit of customer acquisition. So it's PRM, prospect relationship management. So it's dealing with the first bit. How do you get somebody to be a customer? Because that journey is very different to the journey you have when you're dealing with somebody who is a current customer and needs ongoing customer service inquiries or product requests. So it just focuses on that very bit. And the reason we tend to put a lot of time into that is because that's what most businesses focus on. When they talk about marketing, they aren't actually talking about all this big array of things. They're looking at, how do I win new customers? So I need to send emails out. I need to do my social media. I need to do A, B, C, D, and E. It's all the proactive side.
And marketing is all about information, isn't it? That's why we're looking to generate leads that we can then turn into decent prospects and turn into customers. I mean, you and I know that the process. You better than me, I'm sure, Simon. It's your bread and butter every single day, and you're working with all sorts of different organisations of different sizes. Is it fair to say? Do you work with different size organisations, Simon?
We specialise in working with small business, but our largest client has been LV, which is a bigger company.
Insurance.
Yeah, the big insurance company. So we've got a whole array, but our core focus is around small business. It's where we want to help people. People get us, and our tool makes the biggest difference. And where it makes that, go on, Steve, you're going to say?
No, go on, carry on.
I was like, where it makes that difference is when you're doing all these bits of marketing. If you've got loads of channels of conversation going on and communication, you miss all these gaps. And so when you don't see the bigger picture of it brought together, say if someone's having a conversation on social media, they're also checking out your emails, they've been on your website, they've looked at this, you've had a meeting with them. Unless that's all joined up in one place, once you go past a few people, you lose track of all of that stuff. So PRM brings that together for you, enables you to see that bigger picture. And what's more important then, you can kind of spot the golden nuggets, those people who you didn't realize were engaging.
And I guess one of the important things is in any organization, I know from our own experience here at Action Coach, is to make sure the bigger the organization, you've got more people having those conversations with prospects, is to tie that information together so that you get the bigger picture.
Yeah, but I do agree with you, but it's absolutely vital for small business, because especially in small business, well, in big business, you've got people handling each section. So you'll have somebody focused on sales, you'll have somebody focused on marketing, etc., etc. In a small business, typical business owners probably juggling several balls. So having to remember to put a follow-up phone call into Joe Blogs in 6 months, they might forget to put it in the diary, or they might not notice the fact they've suddenly started engagement because they're focused on getting some delivery out the door. And
Yeah,
so
it's all
small
about.
business actually probably make, well, again, I'll throw one of my stats out. A typical small business, and it's quite an amazing one. Well, those small businesses that don't use CRM typically lose £72,000 every year. So it's a huge impact just for not doing a process.
No, I mean it's yeah. I mean it started when you think of it like that. You know, the opportunity cost when I was at university is what we call it. You know, the opportunity you're missing, and the cost of the cost of that is phenomenal. And I talk so often to my clients and in prospects, Simon. I say, not only are you the head of HR, you're the head of marketing, the head of sales. And the smaller the business, and if we focus on SMEs for a moment, they are the business owner is, as you say, is quite understandably juggling a number of different balls. Even if they have a salesperson in their team, even if they have an administrator or people delivering the service or the product, they are still managing many aspects of the business themselves. And that's where having that process, that really clear system in place is so important.
Yeah. Go on.
No, carry on.
Also, another key thing around that as well is when you look at managing these sort of systems and these processes, one of the things that PRM does as well is it moves it away from being a company. So not your company, the prospective company, because you aren't actually, when it comes to sales, you aren't actually dealing with a company, you're dealing with an individual. So what PRM does is it actually puts the individual at the absolute heart of everything. Because if you understand how an individual's engaging, what they're going through with, where they are in their sales cycle, then you can engage with them in the right way so that they can they'll buy a lot faster.
Yeah, so it's about speeding up or systemizing and making sure you've got all the information in front of you so you can really meet their needs. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, completely, yeah. Because I feel as if I'm being Mr. Statistic today, and it's not like me.
No, not at all. We like stats, Simon. It brings it to reality.
So and this is again, it's a really interesting one. So that a customer makes 60% of their buying decision before they reach out to sales. So if you can identify when they're going through that route and spot their engagement, which is what you do by seeing a bigger picture, then what you can do is you can influence that 60% decision rather than having to rely on trying to convert them at the 40% stage. So that's where it makes such a huge difference for you. And by bringing all the tools together and putting some automation behind it, it means that you just get individuals flagged up to you. So you know who to pick the phone up and speak to or send some targeted messaging to, which makes your journey of when you've got all these balls in the air so much easier because you go, right, that's what I need to do now.
So Simon, in terms of it, CRM, PRM, the thing about a business that might not have a system at the moment or might have a system that's not quite working for them, when is the right time to consider either getting your first CRM or to invest in changing your CRM? I think people tend, a bit like going to a bank, isn't it? Once you're in a bank, you tend to stick with it. Changing a CRM or changing any function of business is often a difficult and a decision business owners either haven't got time for or are loath to make.
It's not something somebody wakes up in the morning and goes, I'm going to change my CRM today, is it?
Absolutely. Once it's a bit like changing your computer, isn't it? It's the worst thing you can imagine doing. So you want continuity in your business. You want your computer to switch on in the morning and carry on doing what you're doing. You don't want to be out of action without emails, without everything else. So it's the same with the CRM, I guess. So how would somebody even start thinking about either setting up a CRM or changing their CRM? What does that process look like?
So if I step back a second, I'm answering your question in this. I'm going to try and help clarify. So typically what we see there's three categories of CRM user. And it'll be when you move from one of these categories into another is when, so first category is people that are using multiple levels of entry-level software. So they've got MailChimp perhaps for doing the email marketing. They've got Google Analytics for doing the web. They've got spreadsheets because they've got contacts over there. They've got Outlook, all these bits and pieces, which works brilliantly when you're a small business and you haven't got a lot of, using the analogy for a lot of balls in the air, a lot of contacts, a lot of people you've got to follow up on. Okay, but what you'll find then is that you'll start missing leads and data will get lost as it's moved from one place to another and you don't see that bigger picture. So when you realize that, that's the stage to step up from there because that's when you're losing sales. On the opposite end of the scale, you've got you're perhaps using some quite the more advanced when I say that whole CRM thing. So something like HubSpot, Salesforce, those bits of software which cover all the aspects. But if you want all of that, that's brilliant for you, and they'll do an amazing job for you. But what we find typically, someone goes from this step here, where they're going, I've got all these bits of software, to suddenly stepping up to something that does everything. And that's a bit like jumping from riding a push bike and going over to a Ferrari, in a sense. If you're not ready for it, it can actually do more damage than is good. So Popcorn kind of sits in the middle. There's other bits of software as well, like us, but we take quite an unusual, more of a lead generation angle on it. But what we do is we just kind of pick out the essential tools you need to allow you to go for it. So if you need everything, you need all of the bots, you need all the product management and all this sort of stuff, very much go for the HubSpot side of things. But if you don't need that, just look at something that's right for your business now. Because if you focus on what's right for your business now and what it will allow you to get from here over to there. And so to answer your question of when's right, it's about finding out, do you find that you're spending more time doing something or losing sales? Then it's about choosing which section you fall into. Does that answer the question?
It does, yes, yeah. So if somebody's sitting at home with a range of spreadsheets, Simon, I guess when would they know when is the right time? I guess it's difficult, isn't it? It depends on the business.
It very much so. You can't do it. But what I would say is, if they are at the point where they're going, you know what, I'm missing sales, or I'm losing opportunities, or I'm not sure what I'm doing, who do I follow up today? That's the point with all the spreadsheets, that they don't see that picture. And bringing it together into one piece of software, it means they've just got one single place to go to, and it's all housed really simply and clearly for them.
And Simon, for somebody who's perhaps not too sure about which CRM or when, whether they should change their CRM, what is the benefit of having a really good working, well-managed CRM in any business? What does it bring to the business? What value does it add?
Well, yeah, statistic time. So
you like your stats, don't you, Simon?
I do, yeah. So from our point of view, and these put these in some blunt things, and these are direct stats that we get from our users. Typically, a user will have a return on investment. So for every pound they spend with us, they'll get £185 back. They'll see their sales conversion rate go up by 200%. And they'll typically, when they're directly sales related, they'll save a day a week of their time. So it impacts on, time, money and resource as well. So they'll see a huge transformation in their business from doing it. So what I would say is, if you are in a stage of getting to this point where you are juggling things, do it. It's really simple to move on to something like this. If you've already got it in a spreadsheet or bits of piece, the software can just export them out and just re-import them in. The software will just sort it all out for you. It will sort all your deduplication out. It will tidy it all up, and then you've just got one database done cleanly. And with a bit of support and guidance, it should only take no more than 10 minutes.
And Simon, how could a database or a CRM, how can a database, or you might phrase, a CRM really help in lockdown when you've got staff working remotely and, perhaps dispersed teams across different locations? Where does the advantage of a CRM come in there?
Okay, so let's imagine we've got a sales team with a couple of members of staff in there. I put my notes in there. Every single member of staff can see exactly what's happened in all those meetings. Because the CRM will then do the web tracking. It'll say which web pages they've been looking at on your website, so that when that sales member goes to do a follow-up call, which will be registered for them, and they'll be told to do it, they'll be able to pick the CRM up and just go, right then, I know we've had past conversations about A, B, and C. I know that they've been doing D, E, and F on the website. So basically, this is what they're interested in. So it will arm them and give them intelligence so they can convert faster. Does that answer your question?
It does, yes, no, absolutely. And so we talked about all the benefits of a great CRM. Are there any disadvantages?
Yes. So it's a really simple one, and it kind of goes back to my analogy earlier on that I said about the 3 different types. If you jump from there, from the spreadsheets up to something that's all singing and all dancing, the odds are you're not going to use it, because you'll spend more time trying to get this thing to work for your business, or you'll get so much time getting buy-in from your staff or whatever it is, that it won't actually work. So it'll end up generating more time, more energy, and more cost for yourself, and it'll put the business into paralysis. So I would say to mitigate that is always look at it as little steps. What am I going to do next? Sorry?
Keep it simple. Start small and build it up gradually.
Exactly. So first step would be just get your data into one place so you can see that. Once you've got that in one place, then start using the marketing tools. Perhaps start doing some email marketing, which will then automatically kick in the website tracking for you, and then that'll kick in the lead generation for you automatically. That way you've only done one step, but it's taking up to this point here. And as you start to generate more leads, you'll start seeing the value in it. You will use it, your team will use it more. And then as a business, you'll have far more intelligence, far more sales falling out of it.
Great. I got a question from Jack here. Simon, he's talking about CRMs, and he's not got one, he says, but he's a bit anxious about data protection and holding lots of data. Any thoughts? I mean, we've done other sessions on GDPR, etc. in the past, but in terms of CRM data management, what are your thoughts on that, or how would you like to respond?
I could probably speak quite generally. If you pick a reputable CRM company, they'll be based up in the cloud. And if they're based in the cloud, just find out where the servers are based. So from our point of view, we're all based, we're all fully GDPR compliant. So our servers are based in Ireland, and they're Amazon servers as well. So we've got the top level of security. And what you want to make sure as well is that when your data goes in there, it's actually kept separate from everybody else. There's no way any other customers can cross over. If those boxes are ticked and you've got good security, you should be fine.
So it's about doing your research in terms of choosing the right CRM provider, because if you choose the right one, it should be data compliant, is what you're saying. Is there anything else, Simon, when choosing if you decide to buy in or change your CRM, that you should really be looking for?
I suppose 2 points I would say is, well, 3. What do I need from my CRM to do for me even? So if you're going back to start, if I need my products to be managed and I need my customer service portals and I need this, and this, it will dictate the type of CRM you go to. If you don't need all of those bits, don't get caught up in all the bells and whistles, because that's one of the biggest failures of any CRM, is that somebody goes, right, then I want to be able to do this in 6 months and this and this and this. And because of it, the whole process becomes too complicated. So keep it simple, choose what you need for now and just do it. Because procrastination is one of the biggest things that stops anybody moving forwards in business, especially around anything they're not comfortable with. So start off with little steps and find a system that's simple and suits you.
That's great advice, Simon. In terms of having a CRM that's sort of off the shelf, dare I say, a boxed product, or one that's built specifically for you and your business, what are the advantages and disadvantages? I mean, I'm assuming that one of the big differences is obviously the price point, and off the shelf product is going to be much cheaper. But are there any advantages in having a bespoke one, or is there an in-between approach to that?
So again, what I would say is, look at what you and your business needs. If understand that, then look, would an off-the-shelf one actually cover that? And the majority of the times they will cover it. Or what you can do then is you can move up to the next step. So when you start going to customize, so I suppose there is a 4th level really of what I talked about. So you can go to the sort of 3rd level, the HubSpots, the Salesforces. They can all be customized to suit yourself, and so they can start with putting dashboards changed and all those sort of things brought into there. But again, are you going for overkill by doing that? When something simpler could do the job? I'm not trying to force you one way or the other. The next sort of step, the 4th step, is then to have a complete custom build done for you, because that will be right for your business. But with that comes a very big price tag. And one thing a lot of people forget about is when you have a custom system built. And my past life is I used to work for BMW Group, which did CRM integration into the likes of Deutsche Bank and T-Mobile. But when you go down that route, just because you've had it built doesn't mean it doesn't need ongoing software maintenance. It's basically like running your own computer program. So you will always need tweaks. There's a massive cost with ongoing. So off the shelf or basic customization is probably better, but the key thing is look at what features you need and just go for that.
As you were saying that, I was just thinking, even myself, I'm on a particularly well-known branded laptop at the moment, and an operating system update comes along, and I'm sure if you've got it, then you've got your own custom CRM. That's all going to be need to tweaked and changed, and etc. etc. And as the needs of the business change, then on the changes to the CRM, and it's all time and money, and you've got to be prepared to have an ongoing investment, I think, is what you're saying, isn't it, Simon? Yes. And what I'm hearing.
And most small businesses, the majority of features that they will need are in there in that sort of middle range of packages of CRM systems, and they can always step up to the sort of the HubSpots, ones like that, and they'll give that for them if they do need it. But yeah, don't take on features you don't need, because it'll overcomplicate the process for you.
And Simon, out of interest, you know the clients you've got and had over the years, is there sort of a typical stage in the business growth that the CRM becomes the critical thing for the business to move forward? You know, is it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. It can be put very simple. Growth. When a business starts to grow, the focus of the person that's driving sales will get dragged elsewhere. And they won't be able, it's the whole analogy of keeping the balls up in the air again, and they won't be able to keep those balls up, so they'll start to drop. So if you think you're planning on growth, or if your business is starting to grow, ensure you've got a CRM in place, because that will enable you to not have to worry and enable you to focus on growth.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you talk balls, I talk plates, but it's the same principle.
Yeah.
We're all spinning and keeping things in the air, and now more than ever, you know, with it's been a challenging 12 months. Has it been 12 months since lockdown? It's almost 12 months, isn't it, since we went into lockdown? Yeah. I remember driving up to Birmingham last year from my home here in Kent, and turning around on the M6 and driving back again. I'm sure that was early March. And so it's been a really challenging year for all of us in different respects. And, you know, we want to make sure that whatever we went into lockdown in March last year, that we come out with that as a minimum to take our business forward. I mean, there have been businesses, Simon, that I've talked to, clients and prospects, where, you know, their businesses just boomed because of lockdown. People have turned to different ways of doing their business. People have pivoted their business, and they've opened up markets they never thought or would have considered opening up to in the past, just delivering their services in a different way.
Yeah.
And as we know, there's other industries such as hospitality, retail, that is really struggling right now. But it depends, I guess, in terms of retail. I mean, retail, there are some industries, again, that have pivoted, some organizations that have pivoted and actually are doing really well. But it comes back to, you know, if you're taking your business online, the importance, I guess, of a CRM to be able to monitor all those different ways of interacting. People aren't just coming to see you face to face anymore. You know, everything's being done by email, by WhatsApp, via social media, and all those different touch points. It's about keeping them all tracked and monitored, isn't it? And put it all together, so you've got that customer's journey in one place.
Exactly, yeah. But it's not just about online. It's joining the offline as well. So it's about when you have meetings with people, when you get a letter sent to you, when all these sort of things, somebody puts a customer service call into you. It's about joining that up and allowing you to see that bigger picture. Because when you see the bigger picture, then that's when you can act. And to use your analogy, you said there's a lot of businesses that have grown. There's a lot of businesses that haven't as well. And I've always been very much a believer in every cloud has a silver lining, and I'm not trying to knock the situation we're in at all. But if you've got the time and the intelligence, you can identify those golden nuggets that are sitting there for yourself. And then when you can identify them, you then know, and you've got the knowledge to be able to capitalize on them.
No, and that, it's really important, isn't it, Simon, you know, to make sure that we, you know, make the most of, you know, what has been a challenging situation, that we make the most of that.
To say the least.
Yeah, you know, as I say, for many organizations, it has presented that opportunity to rethink how they're delivering the business. And one thing we talk a lot about here at Action Coach is about systemization, about delivery of what you do. You know, and a successful person is somebody who does simple tasks and has a discipline to do them in a simple way every single day. It's not about rocket science. It's about doing simple tasks effectively and the discipline to do them on a regular basis. And that, I'm sure, is where a CRM can really help to deliver and systemize and save time and make sure that you are having that contact point on a regular basis. You're doing the same tasks, or the system's doing those tasks for you to help you grow the business.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm going to ask you for a stat now, Simon. Do you have any stats around time saved, or you know, in terms of monetary, having the right CRM in the business?
Well, so key ones I would say is A business that's not on top of it, what we see they save a day a week. So that's absolutely huge amount of time that's saved, which you can then focus on finding those silver linings, those golden nuggets, and turning them in. And from the point of view of the monetary side of it, as I mentioned earlier on, we see 185 to 1 return on investment. So to give you so I've got two examples. There was an events company we worked with. They were at that stage where they're having multiple spreadsheets. They were doing bits on MailChimp and this, that, and everything. And what we did, they started using us. They generated an extra, I think it was £76,000 worth of business by doing it. So they did have the basics in place, but they took it up a next level. But there is a facilities management company we work with, and bear in mind they measured their success on 3-year contracts. They started using us, and they went from basic spreadsheets, so it was one basic spreadsheet and everything else was kept up here of the business owner. They generated, now I'm trying to remember the exact figure, but it's something like £562,000 worth of extra business by using a CRM by using Popcorn in just 6 months. Now that is a very extreme, and I wouldn't say everybody will get that one, but by doing it, you spot those golden nuggets.
I think, sometimes it's when the bigger the figures, it's harder to relate to. But the one that's just stuck in my mind, Simon, is that 1 day a week. You can save yourself effectively 8 hours a week by having the right systems in place in your business. And you and I at the moment, Simon, know with homeschooling, where all our time, that 1 day a week is easily spent on homeschooling. But when the schools
hiding in the cupboard.
Yes. Yeah, especially during the maths lesson. But just imagine if we had that time back, we could use that more effectively either in the business or doing other things at the moment that need to be done, to support our families as well. So having the right CRM is so important. I know, Simon, you've done some work, haven't you, around supporting business owners to decide, or a training course, is that right, Simon, on sort of?
Yeah, we're putting together a guide, and we're hoping to have it finished next week. It's called PRM now, and it kind of goes through the steps that you need to do to turn your social media contacts into real customers. And we've talked through the 6 steps to get to the point where they're ready to convert. So that'll be ready next week. So if it's okay with yourself, Steve, if anybody wants that, we're giving it away free of charge. There's no hooks on it. But if they drop their details in whichever chat box they're in, or drop Steve an email, we'll then send you a link out afterwards. So you can learn about how to do that.
Certainly, yeah. So if you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on Facebook or on Zoom or indeed YouTube later on, please do put your comments or put your email address or contact either Simon or myself at any of the email addresses on the website on the screen right now, and we'll make sure that we get a copy of that to you. Did you say that's from next week, Simon?
Yeah, we're expecting that to be launched next week, yeah.
Right, brilliant. And yes, if you want to send me a copy, then I can certainly make sure that people I'm talking to get a copy of that. Free resources are invaluable right now. We say here at Action Coach, it's all about supporting, giving and helping right now rather than doing the hard selling. Yes, we're all here to sell and generate business, but it's about how can we support customers and support each other at the moment as well. So I'm sure that'll be greatly received and welcomed by many people who read it, Simon. So look forward to reading that myself and seeing exactly what it contains.
Brilliant. As soon as we'll get it sent over to you.
Just before we finish, Simon, if people have if there's something that's triggered their inquiring mind, or want to find out a bit more about what Popcorn is all about, what does that look like in terms of contacting you, Simon? Obviously your contact details on the screen, but what do you offer for those initial phone calls? Is it a free half an hour? Is it sort of come and have a chat, or what is it? How do you want to engage?
So 2 things I would say is, 1, check out the website. There's on the homepage at the top, there's a watch now video, which kind of gives I think it's a 30-second explanation of how we bring everything together and shows how simple the software is. Anybody that's interested, click on the book a demo, and we'll talk you through and show you exactly how it works in relation to your business.
Perfect, that's good. So your contact details are on the screen, Simon, and if you are in a mindset of growing your business, which I'm sure every one of the listeners are today, a CRM is also going to help you. It's going to be a key part of helping you do that. But also here at Action Coach, we'd love to have a chat with you about how you can help how you can grow your own business. Every business out there has an opportunity to take it to the next level. For this afternoon, for example, I have a number of prospective clients who are joining me for our six steps business health check, and we run those on a regular basis. So if you'd like to check in with us, spend a couple of hours going through various aspects of your business and to look at where you can make small improvements, small changes that might have a big impact on your bottom line, then we'd love to have that conversation. We've also got our lunch and learn webinars. We're grateful that Simon has joined us this lunchtime talking all about CRMs and PRMs. Simon, you're going to come back in a few months' time, I think, and talk about your own business journey, aren't you? And we look forward to hearing a bit about that and how you've grown your business, particularly during lockdown. And this Wednesday, we've got one of our regular guests, Sarah Thomas Wicker from the Little Media Agency. She's going to talk to us. It links in nicely, Simon, from what you've been saying about, turning your social media prospects into customers. So Sarah has a social media business called the Little Media Agency, and she's going to be talking to us this Wednesday about her own business journey and how that's changed over the last 12 months and longer, and that includes spending a stint of time abroad. So it'll be interesting to know how she's grown her business whilst moving around different countries as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Sarah on Wednesday at 12. We also have our 30x growth program. So it's 30 mini workshops that for those home working with homeschooling, you can either put your kids on them as well, or you can actually do it around other commitments you have in your own, with the business and life at home as well. So 30 mini workshops, half an hour a day or half an hour whenever you want to do it in the week. Take as long as you need to complete the course. Just £30 a week with no contract. So if you're interested in growing your business and doing it at a time that suits you, then that might be the right program for you here from us at Action Coach. Please do connect with us and connect with Simon on Facebook, LinkedIn, and I'm sure both of us have websites with our latest offers and promotions on. Is that fair to say, Simon?
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, sorry to answer you and your questions. From a price point, our pricing, we've got two packages, one at £5 a month, one at £49 a month. So it's all common sense, no contracts or anything like that in there.
There we are. So absolutely. So, to grow your business right now, there is so many great offers. And I've said this on many of our lunch and learns, whether it's getting some admin support, whether it's getting the right CRM, whether it's talking to a business support, business growth coaching organization like ourselves. There's people out there that will help you not just survive this pandemic, but help you grow and thrive your business. And I'm absolutely passionate in supporting as many businesses as we can at the moment to get through this pandemic, to pivot to where you need to, and to grow and be the success that you can be in the future by making sure you're not just surviving, but you're thriving. And those of you who know me will know I often talk about Blackadder, about not having a plan, but having he has a cunning plan, doesn't he? Every single situation they find themselves in, Baldrick has a cunning plan. And it is about that right now. It's about having a plan of how you're going to get through this and how you're going to get out and survive and thrive going forwards. And absolutely having the right tools in the box is important. And one of those tools is the right CRM, without a doubt. So thank you, Simon, so much for joining us this Lunch and Learn.
Thank you for having me.
As well. And look forward to hearing about your business journey in a few weeks' time and where Popcorn has come from and where you plan to go to in the future. It'd be good to hear that journey. And from me, from this Lunch and Learn, say thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you on Wednesday again at 12 o'clock. If you've got snow where you are, stay safe. Go and enjoy it if you can. If you've got snow coming, I hope there's enough for you to go and get the sledge out or build a snowman. I saw a great snowman yesterday, Simon. It's an Olaf, a Disney Olaf snowman. So be creative. Let that creative child out inside of you and have some fun in the snow while it's there. And we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. But for now, take care. Thank you very much. And thanks to Simon at Popcorn.
Thank you. Bye.